Okay, guys, welcome in once again to the Regular Guy NBA DFS show. I am David. Welcome back into the dungeon. It's been a hell of a dungeon this morning. This video is dropping way too late. I apologize. We have had some technical issues here, as you can tell. I'm a little bit flustered right now. It's been a hell of a friggin' morning. We had a thunderstorm move through here early this morning and knocked out power for a brief second. And for some reason, in my recording software and here in my studio, every time this thing turns off, like unexpectedly, it doesn't update out of nowhere or we lose power, something like that, all my recording settings go away. My webcam stops working. Everything just turns to shit. So that's what I've been dealing with all morning. Finally got it back up. I got to go back in, do all the settings, redo them, all that stuff. So anyway, I apologize, guys, for this being late. Again, we'll get through this here as quick as we can for today's Pick 6. Before I get started, if you would please hit that like button down below, I would appreciate it. If you'd also hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell, that way you do get notified every time we put out new videos. Hopefully this video crap, these problems won't continue to exist. But anyway, and give me a follow on Twitter, at SandoDFS. I like to put out some updates throughout the day occasionally if we get news or anything like that before lock. We also have a $25 NBA contest going on right now. If you retweet the post that has the link to this video in it, you're entered to a $25 drawing for $25 worth of DFS dollars. Or if you just leave a comment down below here in the comment section, I've got a list over here. I'm keeping track of everybody that leaves a comment or does a retweet, and we'll be giving out $25 here towards probably right before the start of the NBA Finals. So having said all that, let's get into today's Pick 6. And I got to thinking about it, guys. So I'm just going to do full disclosure on how generally I do my lineups. But before I start that, I got to thinking with these 2-game slates and sometimes 1-game slates, and if we're lucky, maybe we'll still get I don't know if we're going to get any more 3-game slates, but I got to thinking, just giving out 6 guys, I'm not really sure how beneficial that is to you guys like it is earlier in the year. You know, when we have 10, 12-game slates, we're all looking for an angle on a good play or a sleeper or a value play that maybe no one else is thinking about, or we're looking at matchups and saying, okay, well, this guy with this matchup with these guys out should be a smash play tonight. You know, when we have a whole bunch of guys to choose from, that's where the concept of the Pick 6 came in. Basically, on 2-game slates, we're all playing the same players, right? We're all dealing with the same pool of guys. We pretty much know who the value is. We know who the studs are. So what it really comes down to is picking the right guys and roster construction. And getting the right guys in the right combination without, maybe having to use too much value or using a lower owned guy. Like, for example, I don't think Trae Young is going to be all that high owned today. I don't think Devin Booker is going to be all that high owned today. Stuff like that. So, it's more about the roster construction than it is necessarily, oh, you got to have this guy in today. You got to have that guy in today. There's certain guys you're going to have in. But when we're dealing with such a small player pool, I think, we're all kind of guessing or trying to decide who those people are. So I think what I'm going to do going forward here in these Pick 6 videos, let's just build a few lineups. Again, full disclosure, I generally play about 3 lineups a day. I like to enter as many single entry contests as I can, and then 3 entry max contests. I feel like the playing field is a lot more level when I do that. Sometimes I'll go ahead and throw the lineups in a 20 entry max tournament, but really, if you're not max entering these tournaments, you're already kind of behind the 8 ball. They do have a $1.20 lineup, 20 max entry, but again, you want to go through and build 20 lineups. I've had days where I've built 6 to 10 and entered 10 of them into a 20 entry max, but generally speaking, I play single entries and the 3 entry max. So let's just go through and see if we can put together some lineups that we think are reasonable here, and we'll try and go through a couple of them. So first of all, in my main kind of top lineup of the day, that's the one we always try and draw the pick six from. Our two studs of the day are Jokic and Embiid. Okay, so can we fit them in? Okay, it's going to be difficult, but I was playing with lineups before I started to record and found out that I couldn't record. I think we can. So it's just going to be a matter of, do you want to take that chance? Because you're gonna have to use some shaky, maybe even sketchy value and just hope it pops. But if you want to build a Jokic and Embiid lineup, because I love Nikola Jokic today. I'm not quite as high on Embiid. They're going back to Atlanta. We're still dealing with the knee injury. It's 1-1. I don't know if he's going to keep playing the minutes and, putting up 40 points a game. But Denver's pretty much in a must-win situation. They're going back home. Their coach freaked out on him, called him out. So much like Milwaukee yesterday, and my God, what a struggle that was, huh? Denver needs to come through in this game. They lose this game, this series is over. Nobody's ever came back from a 3-0. So I expect top performances from as many Denver guys as we can as possible today, and that'll start with Jokic. So I'm definitely going to have Jokic in a majority of my lineups today. If I build 3 of them, he's going to be in 2 of them. So let's just make our Jokic Embiid lineup. So we'll start there. We're already down to 48-33. There's a guy on this slate that I can't believe his price, and I'm sure you guys probably know who it is. After the last 2 games he's had in this series, I cannot believe that Chris Paul is only $7,100, okay? I think dollar for dollar, value for value, he's the absolute best play on the slate today. His last 2 games have been incredible. He appears to be fully healthy. Everything is running through him, 49 and 50 fantasy points in 36, and he would have got more minutes in the last game, but it was a blowout. So it appears Chris Paul is going to play his normal heavy minutes, and he's been extremely productive, everything running through him. So I think he's one of the best plays on the slate today. He might be in every lineup I put in if we do put in 3 today. So here's our base. So let's see how we can build this. At shooting guard, let me see if I got this. Okay, yeah. We can go to a guy, Torrey Craig has been decent. Not great, but again, if we're going to try and slam Embiid and Jokic in together, we're going to have to take a shot on somebody. He's only played 15 and 17 minutes. That concerns me. But look, he's been incredibly productive when he gets on the floor. 22 to 24 minutes. I wish they'd play him 18 to 22 minutes. And I think he could get up to, 20, 25 fantasy points. But at 3,100, 6X is 18. So the minutes there concern me, but I'm going to take a shot on him so I can fit Jokic and Embiid in the same lineup. And another guy along the same lineup, I'm going to go to power forward and get to him first. A guy that I've been on last few slates, he's treated me very well. His price has come up just a touch, but JaMychal Green in my power forward position, he's getting 20 to 25 minutes a night, and he didn't have a good game last game, but 27, 23, and then 19 back against Portland. 27 against first game against Phoenix, only 10. He's coming back home. I expect better performances out of all these Denver guys tonight, so I'm willing to take a chance with JaMychal Green at 3,500 as well. So in my small forward position in this lineup, I like Kevin Huerter. We now know that DeAndre Hunter is done for the season. So the minutes are going to go between him and a guy who has been one of my absolute favorites the last 2 slates, especially last slate. His price came up quite a bit, though, and he wasn't very high owned, but we snuck him in, and it benefited us. So let's just go down to this forward position here. Danilo Gallinari at 4,800. I liked him a lot better the last slate at 4,200. I wish we could get him around $4,000. But he played big minutes last game. Him and Huerter are basically looks like they're going to split these minutes that DeAndre Hunter, he played 26 minutes after only playing 18. the previous 2 games. So he hadn't been getting a lot of run, and he's kind of an inconsistent player, but he had a really good game last game, and I think they're going to use him probably 24 to 28 minutes tonight again. So we'll put Gallinari in here, and then we have $5,800 left to fill this out. I put Seth Curry in the guard position. Now, here's something you could do. If you're not as high on Torrey Craig, whatever his name is, minutes, you could go over here. I think he fits, yeah. If you would prefer to take a chance on Shake Milton, I totally understand. He had a decent game last game for Philadelphia. Come on, computer. But again, his minutes, he only played 14 minutes, 21 fantasy points, so obviously very productive. But games before that, he got 1, then 7 minutes, 7. So I don't know if his minutes are gonna trend upward in this series. Once I see that, I'll be a little bit more confident in playing Shake Milton. But for right now, just because I think he's a pretty productive guy, I'm going to leave Craig in. So this is my lineup for lineup number 1, my Jokic and Embiid lineup on DraftKings tonight. I am going to put this lineup into a contest. Now, again, we've got $500 to work with here. I don't know what that gets us as power forward. Not much. You know, the jumps seem to be from 36 to $5,000. So anyway, this is our Embiid and Jokic lineup. So let's do another one where we're only going to try and use one of the studs, one of these two. So let's go to another Jokic lineup. We'll start with him. Again, I think he's going to have, he has to have a big game tonight or Denver's done. It's just that simple. We're starting to realize now how big of a difference Jamal Murray is to this Denver team. But they were down 3-1 twice, 2 different times in last year's playoffs, and won both of those series. But anyway, he's going to have a big game tonight if they're going to advance. So, and then I'm going to go ahead. I don't think he's going to be very high owned, and I'm not even sure he's a great play, but I'm putting him in because they're coming back home. And I'm going to play Trae Young. God dang this thing. You got to be in the certain spot or it puts it. So at point guard, I'm going to play Trae Young. He's going to be my other stud in this lineup. Had a big first game, 58 fantasy points. Only 43 the second one, but look, he's playing 38 minutes. They put Ben Simmons on him in the second game a little bit more, and it certainly hurt his production. But still, coming back home, he should be more comfortable shooting in his own arena, I would think. He's going to play the big minutes. Hopefully he can bounce back and score, over 30 again for this game tonight at home. So I'm going to go ahead and take a swing on Trae Young in my second lineup. He's awful expensive. He's got to do very well to pay off this price, but I'm just going to hope that he does. Trae Young's a guy I don't think is going to be very high owned tonight. I think most people are going to use Chris Paul, and I think that's a great usage. You also have Ben Simmons coming off of a bad game, who I wouldn't be that scared to go back to. But for the sake of this lineup, we're going to go ahead and put Trae Young in it. And this is where now we're going to find Shake Milton. We're going to take a chance on Shake Milton just to fit this in, and we'll see where we're at as we get to the end of this lineup. If we want to change anything. So let's put Shake Milton in here, and then let's go back. Again, I think Huerter and Gallinari are 2 of the best plays from Atlanta today outside of, maybe Trae Young, maybe Clint Capella. Capella hasn't been that good. I'm going to fade Capella today. So and I think a lot of people will, so if you're looking for another guy to get a little bit different that won't have that high ownership today, I don't think Capella will have very high ownership. I'll put Huerter in here. Now, here's where I want to kind of mix this lineup up a little bit. We're going to use both our center spots. I like the way DeAndre Ayton's been playing. I don't know how many people will be playing 2 centers in their lineup. Last game wasn't great, but 35 the first game against Denver. Hopefully he gets back to that, can score over 20 points. He's gotten 10 rebounds in both games. So at 6,800, just to be a little bit different, I'm going to go ahead and take a shot on DeAndre Ayton in this second lineup. And then we're going to play Gallinari again at power forward. And then at guard, I'm going to go back to this guy. He was terrible last game. He burned a lot of people, including myself, but I'm going to give Campazzo another chance to bounce back at home. Just everybody from Denver so many guys have been terrible the last 2 games. And again, I don't think Campazzo is going to be very high owned tonight. I think people are going to shy away from this guy because of how bad he was in that last game. I'm willing to give him another chance. The Will Barton is interesting because I assume he's going to play about 20 minutes tonight, but I don't know whose minutes they're going to sacrifice for Will Barton. I can't play him yet at 20 minutes at 5,500. Once he starts getting back up to 25, 30 minutes, if this series extends itself long enough for him to do that, then I think we can start looking at Will Barton. I'm just not willing to go there right now. He played, let's just check the log real quick. I think he played, 16 minutes, 18 fantasy points at 5,500. I can't trust it yet. Another way to get different if you want to take a big risk and hope maybe his minutes jump up to 27, 28 minutes from game 1 to game 2. If we get word today during our updates that Barton will no longer be on a minutes limit, then he becomes a fabulous play, and I probably put him in this spot instead of Campazzo. So that leaves us with a choice here between Bridges and Crowder from Phoenix. They both kind of do the same thing. I think Miles Bridges has a little bit more upside, or Mikal Bridges, sorry. He can pop off 36, 44-point games at times. So him and Crowder basically do about the same thing, but I think I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Bridges in this second lineup. So that's the second lineup. See, we got $400 left. So if you want to go back over to shooting guard and maybe, go back to a Torrey Craig or a George Hill, who really hasn't been getting that many minutes, or even, what did Maxey get the last game? He only had 5 minutes. His minutes really seem to be trending down here. Hill got 19 minutes, only 14 points. So if you're not comfortable with Shake Milton's minutes, I think he's going to get more as the series goes on. That's why I'm willing to use him. So there's our second lineup. That's our non-Jokic Embiid together lineup. So hopefully that helps you guys a little bit. And then the third lineup looks a lot like this that I built. Again, I want to go back to Chris Paul at 7,100. If he keeps playing like he's playing, that's an absolute steal. I mean, it's just you have to play him at 7,100. And then I'm going to put a lineup in where I try and put the 1-2 punch from Phoenix just in case Denver doesn't show up tonight. So I'm going to play a lineup with Paul and Booker together, which gets me to the guy that had another bad game last game. He's had a couple, 2-3 good ones in a row, had a bad game last game. Again, coming back home. I don't think people are going to go to him tonight. He's not going to be very high owned, so I'm going to take a pop on Aaron Gordon, and then I'm going to have to go to, let me look at my notes down here. We can go back to Gallinari down here at power forward. Now, we can pivot off of that. We'll get to that in a second. And then we're going to put another Embiid lineup in case he continues to score 40 points. And then we have Curry. And then I went back to JaMychal Green to leave me enough room to get, once again, a Jay Crowder or a Bridges in. And since I put Bridges in the last lineup, either Campazzo or Crowder here. Crowder's consistent 23 and 22. That's why I just think Morris has a higher upside, so I'll probably put Bridges. I'll probably put Bridges back in here for my third lineup. So that's what my third lineup looks like. If you want to pivot off Gallinari, you've got a power forward. You could play Crowder and Bridges in the same lineup if you'd prefer not to play Gallinari. Or you could try and save a buck or something here and see if you could get up to a John Collins, who I don't mind today, but I just don't think he's really a must-play. So anyway, that's what the lineups look today, guys. I think we're going to try and do it like this going forward in the Pick 6. Just put some lineups together, build some lineups, give you an idea of how I'm looking at things. on 2-game slates since, basically we're just kind of recycling the same players. I'm sorry this video is so late. Let's go ahead and end it. Before I get out of here, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and give me a follow at Sando DFS on Twitter. Retweet the link to this video for a chance to get into our $25 drawing. Again, I apologize the video is so late, guys, but good luck to us today. Good luck to all of you. I don't know if I'll put a video out tomorrow. If not, we will talk to you again Sunday. Thanks for your patience, and good luck, guys.